Okay, hi. This is going to be our first session of a couple of Pilates exercises that you might be familiar with. They're the very basic, so I'm sure you've done them in classes here. So Mike is going to be the body today. He's got a little block for giving him some support. So at home you can use a cushion to give you some support. And then his knees and heels are in line with his hips. And his arms are a bit active, gently pressing down into the floor. So from here, we're just going to start with rocking the pelvis backwards and forwards. So Mike is going to kindly demonstrate. So feel like you're pushing your feet into the floor to lift your tailbone and then pull the heels towards you to arch. And just allow the whole of your spine just to move a little bit. So it's okay if that happens. And then come to somewhere in between, which is, we call this neutral position. I know it's not Mike's favorite word, but we often refer to that. And then from here we're going to go into the pelvic bridge, which is, Mike is going to do exactly the same movement as he did before, but this time he's going to continue lifting his pelvis, and this is very much about strengthening the back of the legs and the buttocks, making sure that the knees don't flare out or in. And then as he exhales, he's going to roll the spine back down. So it's very much about articulation of the spine, making sure that you're not arching your back. And Mike is going to do it just a couple more times the good way, or the ideal way of doing the pelvic bridge. And coming back down. So you can take an exhalation on the way up, and then an inhalation to pause, and then another exhalation to come down. So exhaling on the movement usually facilitates good movement. And coming back down. So I would suggest to do this maybe between 5 and 8 times. And then Mike is going to do one where it's not such a good execution, which might happen, and you can just see he's really arching his back, he's flaring his ribs out, and his buttock is not so kind of engaged. So we want to make sure that we don't compress the spine, so feel the pelvis and the rib cage coming together, and then continue to roll back. Okay, so that's the pelvic bridge. So you might want to bring your heels a little bit closer towards your buttocks, because we're going to do a one-sided exercise which challenges, again, core stability. So we're going to Mike is going to come up again in exactly the same way. And now he's going to try to make everything still, so nothing moves here. And he's going to press down with one leg into the floor as the other one floats up. So the only movement that happens is basically at the hip joint, and then we come and he goes back down, and then he does the same on the other side. So we're always alternating sides rather than doing 5 repetitions on one side and then the other. And he's doing really well, keeping his pelvis really still, keeping his rib cage really still. And at home you can test if you feel like there's unequal pressure over your shoulder blades. So ideally you want to keep the shoulder pressure even on both sides. And he's going to do just one more on each side. So I would say 5 on each side, 10 altogether. And the breathing, just kind of do whatever you feel comfortable with. And then roll back down. Good. So that's the pelvic bridge with a knee float. Now we're going to go into a spine curl, which Mike is going to place his hands behind his head. There's no need for any cushion here because his hands are already bringing his head in a good position. So from here, your elbows are visible into the corner of your eyes. And we want to keep that position. So I always imagine this is a coat hanger, and the coat hanger is not going to change. So the movement is really going to come from your breastbone softening and your breath. So take an inhalation, and then when Mike is going to exhale, he's going to come up. Nothing changes here. So we addressed this before. So we're trying to stabilize that area, and on the way down, Mike is trying to keep his ribs down, so there's no change of pressure over here, which is the base of the rib cage. And again, and you can take an inhalation here, and on the exhalation come back down. Or you can go inhale on the way up, exhale on the way down, or exhale on the way up, inhale down. It's just about stabilizing this part of the body while we're mobilizing the upper spine. It often gets a little bit tight. And then from here we're going to go into the next movement, which is you're going to do exactly the same as you did before. And then Mike is going to float one leg up, and then the other one. Good. And then from here, from this position, he's going to do a toe tap. So he taps his foot in the direction of the floor, not necessarily touching if it means that you're arching your back. So you want to keep everything stable. That's it. So we want to focus on keeping the abdominals nicely flat, so we're not bulging up, keeping the spine stable in this position. Let's do one more on each side. And then the other one. Good. Now we're going to add a little progression to that. So from here, Mike is going to stretch one leg away. And he might want to pull this knee in a little. That's it. So it's kind of a push and a pull. And again, so now you pulling this knee down, really working the abdominals as this stretching the other leg away. And then we can go into, as one leg comes in, the other one starts to go out. And you want to make sure that the knees don't travel outwards, so we're keeping it on the train track. And then from here, you come back, bending your knees, and then toe tap one leg down, and then the other one, and then we lower back down. Good. All right, are you okay to do one more?
No.
Okay, so we're going to do one more exercise. You're probably going to be familiar with this one leading up to the 100. So from here, Mike's going to come up again. Good, and then from there, he's going to lift one leg. So knee float up with one and then the other. Good, and then from here, he's going to try stretching one leg away. Good. And make sure that everything stays stable. And then keep this one leg straight and then try to straighten the other one. Good. And now we're going to lift one leg. Bring it in. That's it, sorry. And then the other one. Good. Now, again, we're going to do that one more time. But this time we're going to start with the knees a little bit closer, more in, more in, more in, more in. So really working those lower abdominals. And then stretch one leg away. Pulling this one closer in. And now pull the other leg. Good. And then from there, bring this knee in. Pull it in as much as you can. And then the other knee. And then from here, toe tap one leg down. And then the other one. And then lower the upper body back down, making sure that the base of the ribs stay down. Good, so we're going to do one little variation of working more the obliques, so the crisscross muscles. So from here, we haven't rehearsed this, so I'm going to see if I can make sense here. So from here, we're going to float back up with the upper body. Okay, now from this position, again, we want to stabilize this so the legs are not going to be involved. The pelvis is going to stay nice and stable. And then from here, Mike is going to take one arm up to the ceiling and then palm facing down and pushing down with the arm as you're squeezing the air out of your lungs. And then from here, you're going to reach that arm up, reach it up without dropping down, without creating a rib lift. And then from there, we're going to do that 2 more times. That's it. So reaching up, as you're reaching the arm up to the sky and maybe behind you, this is your challenge, not to move anything here. And then bring the arm back up. Bring the hand behind your head. That's it. And then from here, we're going to do the same on the other side without resting. So from there, so you squeeze in the air, drawing the ribs down and up, reaching behind you if you can. And again, pressing down, reaching up. And then last one, pressing down. And then reach up. Bring the hand behind your head. Now this time trying to soften the breastbone a little bit more, so you come a little bit deeper. And then lower back down. Okay, so hopefully hopefully that will keep you going for maybe a day or a couple of days. I would suggest to do it once a day, and then we build up onto that with more classical exercises. But these exercises are the prep for the exercises that are part of March Madness. Okay, I hope you enjoy it, and please let us know if you have any questions. Happy to help. All right, thank you.
Thanks for watching.